Finds this Monday lunchtime. The student who wanted to take his own life because he was addicted to social media. And work to extend the terminal at Leeds Bradford Airport gets underway. Good afternoon. A student from York has been telling how his addiction to social media led him to try to take his own life. Danny Bowman spent up to 8 hours a day scrolling through his smartphone. Meanwhile, the government has just published its long-awaited proposals on regulating online activity, including social media. Luxmi Gopal reports.
Danny Bowman was 15 when he became addicted to social media, a dependency that led to him trying to kill himself.
I was spending up to 6, 7, 8 hours a day just scrolling through social media, looking at other people, looking sort of really how perfect their lives were. And I thought, why can't I be like that? You know, there's something wrong with me.
In search of online validation, he became obsessed with posting the perfect selfie, taking hundreds of photos a day.
Every time I got a like, it felt amazing. And then when I got a negative comment, it was like the end of the world. It got to the point where I tried to take my own life because it really was that severe.
Danny was sent to rehab, where treatment included weaning him off his phone. He was diagnosed with body dysmorphic disorder and believes social media played a big part. The issue's been the subject of a cross-party inquiry.
A group of MPs are calling for urgent research into how social media can affect young people, whether it can cause mental health issues or whether it's just correlation. They want to see if it's addictive enough to be classified as a disease and want a levy on social media companies to help pay for the research.
Today, the government set out its own plans for regulating harmful online activity. But one charity is urging faster progress. It wants groups to act now to establish a clear guide for young people's social media use.
It's absolutely vital that we do something now rather than wait for legislation to come into place. This can be a timely process and we cannot wait around while potentially more lives are lost due to social media platforms and the impact they can have on our young people's mental health.
Danny still uses social media for the mental health campaigning he does alongside university, but he has a more balanced relationship with it now and hopes the government's proposals will help ensure other young people have the same. Luxmi Gopal, BBC Look North, York.
South Yorkshire police are investigating a carjacking that's left a 25-year-old man seriously injured. Unconfirmed reports suggest the man was attacked with a machete on East Bawtry Road at the junction with Leasegate Road in Wiston last night, and his white Mercedes was stolen. He's in hospital with a life-changing arm injury. And police in Huddersfield have arrested a 24-year-old man on suspicion of attempted murder. It's after they were called out to a report of shots being fired on Marina Terrace in Golka in the early hours of Saturday morning. No one was injured in the incident. Plans to cut the number of firefighters on fire engines in South Yorkshire from 5 to 4 are being discussed at a meeting today. The service needs to save around £4 million a year and says this is a better option than reducing the number of engines overall. The Fire Brigades Union says the plans are unthinkable and could put both staff and public at risk. A national conference on child sexual exploitation is taking place in Bradford today. Survivors and experts from across the country are in the city to discuss ways to combat grooming and sexual abuse. It's been organised by the Muslim-led campaign group Together Against Grooming and follows a number of high-profile cases in West Yorkshire in the last year. Work on a £12 million expansion of Leeds Bradford Airport has got underway this morning. The redevelopment will include extra shops and restaurants in the departure lounge and a much bigger area for immigration. Here's our transport correspondent Spencer Stokes.
Shovels at the ready for what Leeds Bradford Airport say is their biggest physical expansion in decades. Over the next 12 months, a brand new building will appear on what is currently a car park. And this newly released video shows larger immigration and baggage reclaim areas, better departure gate facilities, along with more shopping and food outlets.
They're going to extend the passenger terminal, which is going to really improve the passenger experience, both in the baggage area and the security area. And Leeds Bradford Airport handled 4 million passengers last year, and they're looking to grow, so it's great to see this investment.
The target is to have 7 million passengers by 2030, so new buildings will be needed, but also more flights. And that raises concerns for those worried about carbon emissions.
With aviation, we need to make sure that we play our part in reducing carbon emissions from planes. We are seeing new engines come in which have less carbon emissions than previous ones, but what we really need to do is make sure that as airports grow, they do so sustainably so that we actually reduce carbon.
The new £12 million building is expected to open in a year's time. Spencer Stokes, BBC Look North.
Well, football now, and Sheffield United have the upper hand again over Leeds in the chase for automatic promotion to the Premier League. The Blades beat Preston, while Leeds United slipped to a rare defeat. Alistair Gill has the roundup of the weekend's action.
In the race for promotion to the Premier League, it was Leeds who began the weekend in the driving seat. But any hopes of a fast start against Birmingham were halted by the post. Suddenly, the Blues, who'd suffered 5 defeats on the spin, were ahead. Former Leeds boss Gary Monk may have enjoyed Shea Adams' strike, but he didn't show it. In the second half, Patrick Bamford missed again and was then denied a third time as the game ended 1-0. Meanwhile, in Lancashire, Sheffield United were taking advantage of the Leeds slip. David McGoldrick with the easiest of finishes to send his side a point clear of Leeds in second. In the league, those two dream of reaching Huddersfield were suffering another nightmare. Leicester put 4 goals past them, although Town did win their first penalty since February last year. Aaron Mooy's spot kick not enough though to prevent a 25th defeat of the season. Back down a division, Rotherham's hopes of staying up are still intact, just about. Goals from Michael Smith and Michael Ihekwe leaves the Millers just 1 point from safety. Sheffield Wednesday took the lead against Aston Villa but conceded twice in added time to lose 3-1 and stay mired in mid-table. Bradford City are as good as down, 7 points from safety with 5 to play after defeat to Doncaster. And Barnsley lost for the first time in 2019 to put a dent in their automatic promotion hopes. Alistair Gill, BBC Look North.
And some cricket news. Yorkshire look to have an impossible task ahead of them as they try to avoid defeat against Nottinghamshire, who declared 446 runs ahead. Yorkshire still need 375 to win, but Joe Root is at the crease, so you just never know. Here at the weatherboard, Mr. Paul Hudson with the forecast.
Thank you very much. Well, it looks fine this weekend. You'll be very pleased to know there should be increasing amounts of sunshine around. The cloud is proving to be quite reluctant to clear at the moment. It should have all gone by now, but it's still lingering across parts of North and West Yorkshire. There's the headline, though. Cloud breaking with some sunshine. Now, high pressure is to the north of us, and that basically means that this week will be dry. Quite cool breezes, though, coming in from the northeast. So if you're on holiday along the east coast, you'll know about that, with temperatures barely above 10 degrees Celsius. Now, there's the cloud. It's really only slowly melting away and breaking up. South Yorkshire seeing the best of the brightness, as is North Nottinghamshire. And I think over the next few hours, very gradually, the cloud will break up, with the exception perhaps of the upslopes of the Pennines, parts of North Yorkshire. In the brighter spots, it's going to feel quite pleasant. We'll see highs around 15 or 16 degrees Celsius. So as we head through this evening and overnight, we'll see some low cloud, especially these upslopes of the Pennines further east. There'll be a lot of clear weather, I suspect, tonight, with lowest temperatures coming in at around about 4 or 5 degrees Celsius. So tomorrow then, any low cloud will break up much more rapidly than it has done today, so increasing amounts of sunshine from the word go. A nice day. There will be some patchy clouds through the course of the afternoon, some sunshine, perhaps a bit of low cloud at times along that Yorkshire coastline. But in general, it's a brighter day, but there will be a cool breeze coming in from the North Sea. And it's not just the North Sea coastline that will feel chilly. Inland, we're struggling up to 10 or 11 degrees. So nice in the sun, in the shade, though, it will feel cool. But the rest of the week is fine and dry with spells of sunshine, but temperatures will be below average with that north-easterly wind throughout. Ian, that's the forecast.
And an accurate one as always, Paul.
Of course.
Thank you very much. That's it. More from us at 6:30. See you then. Bye-bye.